What's up? Yo, what's going on, Maya? How are you? Damn, what's going on with my voice? I just woke up, so must be because I'm tired or because yesterday I was talking too much. Cinnamon roll. Wow, long time no see. How are you? I'm doing good, thank you. Anyways, yeah, I kind of woke up late, but we got work to do, so that's okay. Yo, what's up, Ash? How are you? What's up, RG? Welcome back to the stream, RG. Nice to see you here. Let me just start up my project real quick. But I hope you all are doing well. How does your VS load so damn fast? It must be my SSD, honestly. And I haven't even set up my new one yet. Because I bought a new SSD. But I haven't, like, formatted my old one. So, like, I still have to do that. Darth, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Did you just wake up? Your voice sounds different. It does. It does. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know what's going on with my voice. The way my voice feels right now, it feels like I was screaming, but I wasn't screaming yesterday. But it must be because I was talking too much. But that doesn't even make any sense. But it must be because I'm just waking up. I don't know. Hopefully, this water will help me recover my voice. What router am I using? I'm using a Netgear, I think. I don't know the exact one, but I know it's Netgear, I think. What router? Oh, for React. React router. I'm using React router version 6. Chat applications are so fascinating. They aren't hard logically, but I just love the thought behind them, and making chat UIs is fun. They really are. They really are. Alright, so yesterday, so far this is what I have for my agenda. To do is add profile picture, add send button, and attachments and images. Between these three, I probably would want to do the attachment and images, which is really just, which also is going to help us with profile pictures as well, because we are going to need to save everything to S3 or DigitalOcean Spaces. So if we do this, it'll also help us with this. So, but I don't know how I want to like really set that up though, because right now, you know, right now we just have this page, but of course I can add more stuff too. For example, if I just go to conversations, I probably might want to do something over here. Add replies to your to-dos and add a different page for conversations. Yo, what's up, Aesthetical? How are you? Welcome to the stream. I haven't seen you for a while. How are you doing? How are you doing? Long time member here. Let me see. Yo, what's up? Welcome back to the stream, Plagsy. Welcome to the stream. Yo, what's up, Bad Driver? How are you? Welcome to the stream. What's going on, Ashwin? How are you? Yeah, so I think attachments might probably be the next thing that I might want to do, but I'm not sure. Is there something that we haven't done yet? Because we have like so many suggestions, but it's just so hard to keep track of all of them. But I know yesterday we got editing messages to work. We have deleting messages able to work. Replies. I'm doing great, man. How have you been? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm not sure if I really want to work on replies right now because I think that's kind of pointless in the conversation chat. I think what's more important is just setting up like notifications somehow. Like whenever you receive a message, it'll kind of like bold the text. We already have it moving the message conversation all the way up to the top, but maybe some kind of notification would work. Profile pictures can come later, even though right now they're all like blue. Maybe some MD formatting, like code formatting, that could also work. Like if you do something like 3 backticks. Yeah, there's probably like some kind of API that you could probably throw this into. Like there's probably some kind of package where it can detect it can detect. You know what I really want to do? I really want to do like a friends system, friends feature, friends system. That's something that I really would like to do. Oh god, let me fix that real quick. My bot is a little bit weird sometimes. Friend system seems more interesting, honestly, because right now we're able to send messages to literally anyone. But if we have like a friend system, that will make it so that only certain people you can send messages to. And so if we were to use a friend system, what's an account system? If we were to do like a friend system, you would have maybe like an extra UI over here, and then you can see all of your friends' account page. What do you mean by account page? Oh, like setting, like uploading profile picture, changing your name, things like that. Do you mean that? That chat looks a bit weird. I don't know why it just does. Like change username, email, delete account. Yeah, we could probably do something like that. I just want to prioritize what I think is more important right now, or at least what's more interesting. Because like, with adding profile pictures, that's not really that hard. Because all really we need to do is just create an endpoint, call the DigitalOcean's Spaces API, save the ID of the image for the user, and then every single time you visit the page, you just literally call the API and it'll give it to you. So that's why I want to put off on that, because it's really not that interesting. But at least for the other stuff, I want to see add profile info when you right click a user. Yeah, we could do that. So when you right click, it'll show you. Yeah, we could do something like that. I think we can like create a friends and blocking system. Blocking feature. Right now I'm just like adding a bunch of stuff just so I can remember it later. But yeah, I mean, eventually we'll get all of these features working. So with enough patience, we'll be able to get this working. It's Dogwrench, just one of my private projects. So we have a blocking feature. I think blocking feature would be important too. But yeah, like I definitely want to enhance our interface a little bit more. So when I right click, because right now it just feels really weird. Like if I right click, I can see this. Maybe we can add some icons too. We can add some icons to this. Yo, what's up, Art13 Dev? Welcome back to the stream. Is there an edit flag? No, but we do need to add that actually. We do need to add that because yesterday I was talking about how if I edit a message, it doesn't really. We don't even know if the message has been edited. So we might want to add something over there, like maybe to the side. Usually, I mean, where does Discord usually add it? Like on the bottom right. And we can add that over here. So that way we know that the message has been edited. And we also need to add a couple of the additional fields too. But honestly, I think right now what I want to experiment with a little bit is I want to like try to configure the backend. I want to configure our database system because I really want to get group chat working. Because right now we only have it working for 2 users. And in order for a group chat to work, we really need to set up our database in the way that it supports it. Because right now it definitely won't, and it won't support it with more than like 2 people. As your project is open source, can we contribute into it? Someone was saying that I don't have a license for my project, so it seems like because of that reason you can't. But I mean, I don't mind if you want to raise issues or pull requests. It's just that I ask right now to avoid doing it because there's just so much stuff that's going to be done over the next couple streams. So once like the project is stable down a little bit, once we have some unit tests, some end-to-end tests, then you know it's fair game for everyone who wants to contribute. Also, you should make the text at the top in Convo where it says name bigger. You're creating Telegram 2.0. You're gonna be 6 of mark my words. Maybe. Who knows? Okay, so I think let me do this. I want to play around with the database a little bit because I want to show you what our database schema looks like, so you guys can understand a little bit of what my concern is. So right now, are you gonna do like guild type things or like organized group chats? So group chat would be the next thing, but in order to get guilds or servers to work, we need to have group chat working first because, you know, my friend actually was telling me yesterday that I should create a system where you can create servers and guilds, but I was like, you know, that would be really going extreme, but you know, who knows, maybe we might try it. But what I want to show you is how our conversation schema looks like. Because if you understand what the conversation schema looks like, you would understand what my concern is regarding of how our system works. So you can see that right now our conversation has this creator and has this recipient property, right? And you can see that this is the only way that we're able to detect if 2 users have a conversation. Okay. Now with group chats, it doesn't really matter so much because with group chats, you know, for example, on Discord, you can create as many group chats as you want, and they can have whoever you want. So you can literally create an infinite amount of group chats with the same 3 people over and over again, and it doesn't really matter, right? So I think if we look at this situation, we can be like, okay, this is not that bad. What we could do instead is maybe we can actually create a separate entity that represents group conversation. So that way we're not joining together a conversation with a group conversation. But then again, the problem with that is how do we know, how do we get the group conversation and the conversation in order? So if we were to do that, right, we would need to kind of like somehow, you know, sort it in a way. Maybe we could like, you know, join the elements together and then sort it, but then that would really be annoying because we should really be able to get it in one go from the conversation, and also it would make it harder for pagination too. So that's the reason why that's the reason why if we were to create like a separate entity, that would also make it extremely difficult too. But that's why in the beginning, when we on our first stream in the beginning, what we did was we had a participants property, and it was the participants property was a many-to-many relationship between the conversation and the participants, which is now user. So we actually had like the many-to-many relationship between conversation and user, but now it's just creator and recipient. So I think what we'll do is we'll probably like comment these 2 out, and then we'll probably revert back to a many-to-many between conversation and user, and we'll kind of go from there. I mean, Discord does unique IDs to different group chat from group chat. I don't know how they will help with sorting though. Hey, SLS launched today. What is that? I don't know what that is. You should have made it be either creator recipient array or user array chat. What is SLS? I have no idea what that is. Yo, what's up, ShatMX? Welcome back to the stream. How are you? Okay, so let me just make sure I want a clean branch. Okay, let me just do this real quick. What the hell is wrong with user.ts? It's something with my end of line sequence, which I don't know why this happens, but it usually happens whenever I whenever I switch branches. I don't know what's going on with VS Code sometimes. Yo, what's up, Clement? How are you? I think it's because Windows uses CRLF by default. So yeah, I don't know. But yo, how are you doing, Clement? Hope you're doing well. So I think what I'll do is I'll have this conversation and users have a many-to-many relationship, because a conversation can have many users and the user can have many conversations. So we definitely want to do that. I am really tempted to go on a different branch, but I really don't want my end of line sequence to get messed up, so I'm not even going to bother doing that right now. But I do know that if we comment this out, everything in our code is going to break. So we have a lot of migration to do. Honestly, you know what? I'll just switch to a different branch. Let's see. Yeah, I'll just switch to a new branch. Let's see. I hope this does not mess me up later. But I don't know what's going on with my VS Code. It's something to do with like the CLRF. It's actually no. You know what it is? It's the ESLint. It's the ESLint. Yeah, let me see if I can disable this real quick, because this is actually really stupid. Like, is VS Code gonna let me? It says view problem, but I can't even. How do I do this? Hold on. Let me just go into this. No, that's not gonna work, because this problem has been there since like the past 4 or 5 days. It's the ESLint issue, and I don't know. Let me see if I can delete this. Oh, give me 1 second. Prettier disable CR. Let me do this. Prettier C. I should fix that. Let's see. Do I need to reload my formatter? Hey, Anson, I set up the channel computer and Mike. Nice. Nice, Lassie. What did you end up doing? Yo, what's up, Moncode? How are you? Welcome to the stream. Booleans. Why does that name sound so familiar? That name sounds so. I feel like I've seen you before too. Let's see. I don't know what's going on with this, but it's really stupid sometimes. You made a cool loading screen. Nice. Let's see. Alright, so we're in a new branch right now, and what I want to do is I want to set up a many-to-many relationship. Basically, let me just show you exactly. Let me kind of just like see if I can somehow show you how this structure would work. Let me do this. So basically, if you think of it like this, right? The user is going to have many relationships between the user and the conversation. So, and then basically when you have a many-to-many relationship, the way that you can get all of the relational data between these two entities is basically what happens is you create what's called a junction table. And the junction table is basically just a table that stores the primary key of the user ID and the primary key of the conversation ID. So, for example, the junction table would look something like this. And that's really all the junction table would have. It doesn't really have anything else typically. So you basically store the primary key of user ID and conversation ID. And the reason why you do this is because what happens is, you know what, let me do conversation ID first and then user ID. That'll be way better. Okay, so let's say, for example, if we have conversation number 35, right? And then let's say, for example, for the user ID, we have user ID number 64. Okay, and then for conversation ID, we have another ID over here. And then for over here, we'll have number 78. So basically, if we look at this junction table, we can see that this junction table only has 2 records right now for ID of number 35, right? So if we were to query this table, all we want to do is do something like select asterisk from, and then you can query the junction table directly. So you can do usually the junction tables are named like user conversation, something like that. So let me put this over here. And then select asterisk from user underscore conversation, and then you would basically pass in the conversation ID. And then if you query it like this, what happens is it would give you all of the records that where the conversation ID was number 35. And based on the number of records you were given, that would determine how many participants are in the chat, right? And you can also just grab all of the participants as well. And you can also, and then in TypeORM, you can interjoin this table with user and as well as conversation. So that'll give you all of the conversations as well as all of the users. So we'll have to do that in TypeORM later, but hopefully we can get pretty far because we actually kind of did this last time, but we didn't really get too far. You're still live. I just started streaming actually, but welcome to the stream, Declan. Drawing SQL diagrams might help better than Notepad. Do you want to see the load spinner? Maybe later. Right now, I want to like focus on setting up this group chat feature first. But if you want to like show it to me on like Discord, like that's also, you can do that too. But I don't really have like a SQL diagram program right now that I have in handy. I used to use I forgot what that app was called, but you have to pay for it though, which is really whack. But hopefully you guys get the idea. And now, for example, if we were to have more conversations, you would have like, so this is how group chat would essentially work, right? Let's say, for example, you have a group chat which consists of let's just say at least 3 users, right? So you can see over here we have 35 for the conversation ID, and we have all of the participants. And of course, with a little of SQL magic, with a little bit of left joins, that would also help give us all the data of the user and the conversation as well. Okay, and so again, like we can have more conversations. Let me change this real quick. So basically, no matter how many records that you get, would pretty much give you all of the users in the conversation. Okay, and basically the reason why doing it like this would be so much better is because now leaving a conversation is really easy, because all the user needs to do is just right click, leave, and then we remove them from this junction table. Okay, so when you go ahead and fetch them from the user, when you go ahead and fetch all the conversations, right? Well, the thing is, how would you actually get all of the users' conversations? Well, it actually wouldn't really be hard, because all you need to do is you need to query the junction table, and you just basically query the junction table based on their user ID. So for example, let's say if we duplicated all of these values and you change these to 34, and let's change this to 45, right? If I were to do something like select asterisk from the junction table, and this should actually be where user ID equals, and then let's say you did user ID equals 335, so that would give you 3545. Okay, so that's basically how you could get all the user conversations from here. So hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to move this to the other screen, just in case if I need it as a reference later. But hopefully that makes sense with how we can set up our chat application to support a dynamic amount of users, because right now we are hard coding it based on creator and recipient. But obviously that is going to have its own limitations. Now, in terms of how everything else will break, for example, how would we check to see if the user has a conversation between the other user? Well, that becomes a problem because, right, like if we were to do user conversation like this, right, we wouldn't really know. It would be really difficult to tell if it's a private user and if it's a private channel or not, because here's the thing, right? Let's see, Hanson. Will this be posted later? Yeah. All the streams you can watch it from. You can watch all the streams from before. They're all gonna be on my channel, so don't worry. You'll be able to watch it later. But all right, man. Take it easy. Nice to see you here. And make sure you're in the new Discord. Make sure you're in the new Discord because I don't think you're in the new Discord. But the new Discord has like all of the YouTube integration, so just wanted to make sure that you're in there, so that way you have your role set up there. But take it easy. But yeah, so basically what I was gonna say is the reason why I think what's new Discord. Check the link in the description and you'll see it. But if you need to, let me see if I could do Discord !! Discord. And there you go, that's the link. Yeah, make sure you join the new Discord. That way your role will like sync up with everyone else. But yeah, hopefully hope to see you there. How long have you been working on this project? It's been about like today's day number 8. If we look up, let's add up all the time. Thanks, join. All right, let me just oh, so you did change your name. Yeah, I remember your name now. There we go. Let me see. Let me synchronize YouTube again. All right, you should have your awesome role now. There you go. All right, man. Take it easy. I hope it was nice seeing you here again, and I hope to see you next time. Your chat app will have groups and servers. So right now we're trying to make it with. Right now we're trying to make it work with groups. Remember me from yesterday? Of course I do. Rins, welcome. You were inquiring about Electron and how to like secure your app with Electron, and a couple people were like giving you options and like telling you like some other stuff. But yeah, of course I remember you. Anyone that chats, I always remember every single person that talks in the chat. I have a cool idea. What is it? What's up, Leroy Sphere? How are you? Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you here, Little Spirit. Yo, what's up? Candons are fun. Welcome back to our stream. How are you? I haven't seen you the past couple days, so I hope all is well. Okay, so what I was saying was, let's say, for example, right? Let's say if we were to do this between 2 users, right? Actually, I shouldn't have done that. now I got. Let me see if I could use like a SQL diagram. You know, why don't I use a SQL diagram? Might as well. So the app that I was using used to be called, it's called Lucidchart, I think. But I don't know what happened to it. I want to make a game, something graphically simple but mechanically complex. Oh, so this is how it is. It's kind of whack. Can I like set up the language? Let me see, new diagram. Oh wow, that's kind of whack. Create. Oh, the way they do it is weird. I want like something that's limited to SQL. Let me find something better. Draw SQL. Get started. Oh, I gotta sign up for an account. That's so whack. SQL database modeler. Damn, some of these apps actually look really nice now. I've never used them before, but they look really nice. I'm going good. Well, that's great to hear. How about using Perspective AI for community servers and groups? What is Perspective AI? What is Perspective AI? I guess I'll just sign up for an account real quick so I can use this. All right, let me do this. Give me Discord source code. I don't have Discord source code. All right, so let's do chat app. This app looks really nice. I've never used it before, so this looks really nice. Perspective AI, that the AI thing for toxic words and stuff. Oh, like, so like to kind of like have a chat filter or something? Is that what you mean? Yeah, it does look nice. Never heard of this app though. Okay, so so the issue that I was talking about was this. If we were to have a conversation, the user have a many-to-many relationship, right? Let me see if can I add a new table that is like a many-to-many. I just have to do it manually. It's fine. Add column conversation ID. Now let me do this. Wait, nope. Okay, it really should be a many-to-many, but you get the idea. So the problem with this is that if you have like this many-to-many relationship, right? And if you were to have users leave the conversation, you end up having a conversation where there's only 2 users, and it would be hard for you to tell if that conversation is a private or if it's a group. And you know what? I think actually it wouldn't even be that hard, because we can actually probably set like a flag on conversation. Like we could probably set like a type of conversation. We could do like group, private, etc. So I guess we could do that. So let me actually write that down over here. Let's see. Add a task. Let me move this all the way up top there. And I think what we need to do is assign type to conversation. So like, for example, like if it's a private, group, and you know, like I think just private and group should be okay for now. So private chat would be just one-on-one, group would be multiple. And I think that should solve our concerns with knowing if it's a group or a private chat, right? Because if we don't distinguish whether or not it's a group or private chat in the database, you'll have 2 records, and there's no way that you'll know if it's a group or a private. So I think we'll need to add an additional property. Using machine learning to reduce toxicity, online perspective API can help mitigate toxicity and ensure healthy dialogue. Yeah, we could do that. Let me add that to my Asana board real quick. That's a good idea. I'll add it over here. And once we are ready, we can move it over to to-dos. Online perspective AI. There we go. Okay, so yeah, so I think maybe we'll definitely need to add a type, and we'll need to distinguish the type of the chat. So export type, conversation type. I don't want to call it conversation type because that just feels weird. Conversation. How should I call this? Conversation type. Because like I don't want it to conflict with like if we wanted to call it a conversation type. If you get what I mean, like because on the front end we are calling the conversation a type, conversation type. So I think honestly I might actually just change this from conversation to conversation type, and we'll just call this conversation type. So I just don't want people to get confused. So we'll do group or private. What other types of conversation can someone have? I mean, there's also servers like guilds. But that's for later. Like that's for later. As long if you can get group chat to work, making like a server would not be that hard, honestly. But as long as you get group chat to work, that would be like the next step. But group chat is the very first thing we have to do. So we have group, and then we have private, and then let's set the type of this to conversation type. Okay, and there we go. So now we can tell if the conversation is a group or if it's a private. So what about last message sent and last message sent at? So these two will have to stay the same. Okay, created at will also stay the same. So the only thing that so let me see messages. Will messages stay the same? Yes, they will. So the only thing that we'll have to change is just this. Yo, what's up, Antisocial? Welcome back to the stream. Conversation sort. I don't think we should call it that, because sorting really results to, like, sorting like all of your records, and we're not really sorting. Okay, so let's go ahead and comment this out, and we'll do this many to many. And let me actually look up the type-orm docs, because I have not done this yet. Well, I mean, I have done it, but it's kind of have to use this as a reference. Okay, so basically, for those who are confused why we're even using a many-to-many relationship, basically, a many-to-many relationship is where you have instance A containing multiple instances of B, and then the other way around, instance B contains multiple instances of A, and that makes sense for our situation because we have a conversation and we have a user. How do these two relate with one another? Well, a user can have many conversations, and a conversation can have many users. Okay? And that is a many-to-many relationship. It's kind of like, think of it like in the real world, right? Imagine if you have like a brother or sister, or if you have like a co-signer with your car. You can have like an individual person that has many cars, and then the car can have many persons, aka many owners. So let's use owners as an example. So like an owner can have many cars, and a car can have many owners. And that can make sense, right? In many situations. It also depends on the parameters you set for your application too. But hopefully that is a good analogy with understanding many-to-many relationships. And so what we want to do is we want to have our two entities. And so I'm trying to think of their example over here. They have a category and question. So a question can have many categories, and a category can have many questions. But how do they choose which side? Let me see. How do they determine which side owns the relation? Because apparently the question owns the category. Which I don't really understand why that would be the case. But you can have bidirectional relations. And in the above message by Nightbot, the word follow is in the link, so it becomes an invalid link. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with Nightbot, because I was setting it up, and do I have to use like a special character or something? Because see, what happens is this. I did this, and I saved it, and then do I have to use like a percent or not, like a /n or something? So that way it recognizes it? Do I need to do that? I don't know. But now it's frozen. I guess will try %n. Let me change the user for 5 minutes. That's really weird. I don't know why it does that, but it's fine. Okay, anyways, so yeah, basically we want a many-to-many relationship between the user and the conversation. And I think we could, I don't know, I'm trying to understand, how do you determine which side owns which? Many-to-many owning side. Let's look at So let's read Stack Overflow. So you have a team, player, and team. Yeah, because if you look over here, it seems like the many-to-many relationship is between player and team. So yeah, there you go. So remember how I was saying earlier, you have your two entities, and then when they have a many-to-many relationship, you use a junction table to represent that, and that's what they have over here. They have a junction table. You're using type ORM. I like Prisma as well. I've used Prisma before, but I've never really used it with MySQL. But I might make a tutorial on how to use Prisma with NestJS. I've used it before. I'm not really a fan of it, but you know, I mean, I think Prisma is a great tool though, especially with like the migrations and everything. But anyways, so you can see over here that player and team have a many-to-many relationship, and then both of their IDs are stored in the team player junction table. And we're trying to determine which side owns the relationship. In the case of many-to-many relationships in bidirectional scenario, the owner of the relationship can be selected arbitrarily. But having in mind the purpose, you should select the entity that makes more sense to retrieve first, or the one that is more used according to your purpose. You only need to remember that many always need to be the owning side, many to one. Okay, so basically what they're saying is that you have to determine it based on which entity that you will retrieve first. So in our situation, we'll actually be retrieving both entities first in different scenarios, right? So for example, in some situations, we will be retrieving all of the conversations. In some situations, we'll be retrieving all of the users' conversations. And then in the other way around, we'll be retrieving the conversation first. So I guess it just depends on whether or not you're retrieving the conversation first or the user first. But we'll be doing both, right? Because, for example, whenever the user's logged in, we need to get all the users' conversations. Whenever you know what I mean? Like, hopefully that makes somewhat sense. But I think we'll do a bi-directional relation. So we'll do many-to-many, and then but we'll have to have join table on one. So I think for join table, we'll probably do users. You know, now that I think about it, I think users might own the. I think users might actually own the relation, because if you think about it, you're only ever going to fetch conversations for a particular user, and you're not really ever going to fetch conversations with any other parameter unless you know who the user is, right? For example, when we go ahead into our application, let me see if I can open up the app. When I go in here, all of these conversations are fetched by the user. So I think the user actually should be the owning side actually. But we'll also add this to the other side as well. So we'll make it a bidirectional. So let's do this. So we're on conversation right now. So we'll do many-to-many user, and this will map to user.conversations, and we'll have to create that property in just a second. And this will be an array. So let's go over to the user entity and let's do many-to-many. And we'll do the same thing. This will map to conversation, and then pass in the second callback function, and then you reference conversation.users, like that. And then conversations, this will be mapped to a conversation array. Okay, so everything in our code base will break because we are referencing creator and recipient, and those things do not exist anymore. Though I wonder if I could have this, actually, no, I'm just going to leave it alone for now. But if we look at our console, you'll see that we're going to have a lot of errors, which is going to be a little bit difficult to kind of like manage this. But I wonder if I could just like leave these two like that, and then see if I can. I think what I'll do is I'll leave these two alone for now. I'll have this set up, but we'll avoid using this. We'll slowly migrate. So I think I'll just leave these two there for now. I don't know if that will be a good way to slowly migrate, but let's just test it out. So user will have the join table, Okay. And so now what I want to do is I want to show you what happens, what type ORM does. So let's go into our database. Are you for hire? No, not right now. Okay, so you see over here that the junction table was created, users, conversations. And it's an empty set, but let me go ahead and describe this schema. And you can see that all this literally is, it's literally just a database table with, it's literally just a database table with the user ID and conversations. Okay, and let me do one more thing real quick. Yeah, so the only issue is that how do we actually query many-to-many in type ORM? So it's a little bit more complicated to do a many-to-many. So it seems like what we'll have to do is we'll probably create a query builder, left join it with that's one thing that I don't like about type ORM is that it does not support, or not that it doesn't support, but there's no simple way to query many-to-many. So when I look at it like this, so I think what they do is they're doing a left join, which I think that's fine. Subject.notes and subject.notes. I think honestly this is okay. I'm a little bit concerned though, but I think it's fine. Because I can very easily query it in the database, but I'm just not sure how it would be queried with. I'm just not sure how it would be queried in type ORM, but we'll experiment a little bit. So here's what I'll do. We'll go ahead and modify our conversations create API. And so right now, let's go over here, create conversation. And what we'll do is we will go ahead and refactor this whole method. And here's what I'll do. So we have to follow the same logic again. So we have to query if the recipient exists. Okay. You have to check if the recipients is the same as the user. You have to check if the conversation does exist. So checking if the conversation exists is going to be a little bit different. So what we need to do, well, actually, here's what we will have to do. To check to see if the conversation exists between two users. So we cannot query the conversation repository. We'll have to query the junction table. So if we can query the junction table successfully, then that's good. So what I'll do is this. Let me comment this out. For now, let me comment this out. And what I'll do is I'll create the conversation right now. Can I buy you? What do you mean? How long have you been coding? I've been coding for about 6 years now. So let me double check something real quick. So I think what I'll do is this. To create the conversation now, we will not pass in creator or recipient. I think we might have an issue with this. because I mean, maybe what I could do is like just null. I'll do this for now, just temporarily, because we are currently we are in the experiment branch, so we can do whatever we want. And if anything ever goes wrong, we just always revert to the previous branch, so it's fine. But what I want to do is for users, I want to pass in the user as well as the recipient. Like that. Because remember, this is an array of users, and we have the recipient user up there, and we have the authenticated user up there. So we'll create the conversation, we'll set the type to private, and I think that itself should be okay. So let's go ahead and test this out. So let's open up Postman. And what I'll do is I'll create a conversation, and we'll have to see how this works. So let's go over here. So okay, there we go. Let's go over here. So it throws an error. Okay, I expected that. Let's see what happened. Cannot reading properties of undefined. So it seems like something is undefined. Let's see what's going on. This is happening in number 38. Okay, yeah. I think I messed up. Wait. Wait, am I calling find conversation somewhere? Let's see, find user. Where is this? Number 38. Oh, wait, inside here. Oh, okay, so the conversation was created. It's just at the event emitter. Okay, that's fine, All right, there we go. So let's go into our shell. Move this to the other screen for now. Clean up my tabs. All right, let's go over here and let's do. Okay, there we go. So now you can see that we have select asterisk from user conversations. Okay, cool. So now that we have the user saved here, let's select from conversations, and you can see that okay, we're ignoring these two for now. And you can see that the type is private, okay? And of course, if it was a group chat, it would say group, okay? So now what we need to do is we need to basically query this table somehow and see if we can find all of the participants in the conversation. So I think what we need to do in using the same thing that we've done before, because I think we have done this before on the first day of the stream. So let's do this. Const existing conversation. Wait, this dot conversation repository. So I think what we'll do is we'll create query builder conversation. And then I think what we want to do is we want to do a left join. And we want to left join all of the users. So let's do conversation.users. And get many. Do I need an alias? Let me see what I'm doing wrong. Oh, wait, yeah, I think we need an alias. Okay. So let's try this, and I'll console log this, and if it queries it, then that's good. So let's see. When did you create the ORM for your database? What do you mean by create the ORM? Do you mean when did I set it up? I set up the ORM like probably like on the first day. Oh, excuse me, I'm yawning. Is there a way to automate AWS Amplify apps for each user that signs up for my product? There probably is. But I can't tell you how to do it because I've never really worked with AWS before. I'd assume that you could probably create some kind of API, so whenever a user signs up, you can probably like interact with like some AWS API and see if that works. I'm not sure. I would tell you if I had used that before, but I've never used it, so sorry about that. But yeah, no worries, man. And I hope you're doing well, Fat Monster. All right, so let's go ahead and try this right now. And what I'm gonna do is right now I'm not really using any. Hold on, let me fix Nightbot real quick. I only set the interval to 5 minutes because I just want it. I don't know why the formatting is so off. I'll read the docs later on formatting. There has to be a way. Yeah, I'll have to look this up later. I'm not gonna really worry about that right now. For now, I'll just set this to every 30 minutes, so that way it doesn't spam the chat. Let's see. All right, so if I try to click send, what happened here? Oh wait, yeah, hold on. I'm just gonna do this for now because I just want to see the logs. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Let's look over here. Oh crap! So, all right, let's try this. Left join and select. And I think what we need to do after left join and select is we need to do this. Let's see. So dot where, and I think what we'll do is this. So when we're creating conversation, we don't necessarily know if the conversation exists. So we just need to do this user.id equals, and then let's see. Okay, and then we need to add an or where, because we need to check to see if the user.id is equal to create ID, or if the user ID is equal to recipient ID. Because the only way that we can tell if like the conversation exists between two users is, well, at least if I were to do it in SQL, we would need to, if I were to do it like in the SQL shell, if I were to query this, what I would do is I would just query based on the conversation ID. We don't know what the conversation ID is. So what we can do is we can basically query where user ID is equal to creator ID or where user ID is equal to recipient ID. And we would only need to do this if the type is a group. I mean, if it's a private. If it's a group chat, then it becomes a lot more easier. So don't worry. So let's just go ahead and do this. Yo, what's up? Sohan? How are you? So we're checking if the creator ID is the user ID or if the recipient is the user. So if either one. Can you make me a Roblox script? No. And you were the same person that asked that last time, so I'm not gonna make you a Roblox script, sorry. You haven't used Mongo yet, have you? I've used MongoDB before, but not for this project, no. Not for this project, but I have used it in the past. Do you know if session auth works cross-domain? So Backend. Yeah, you could get that to work. I don't know why Nightbot deleted your message, Sahan. Sorry about that. It's the Nightbot deleted your message because you put in a domain, which is kind of dumb. Cause yeah, I guess it. You know what? Let me just do this. I'm just gonna disable that real quick. All right, yeah, I disabled it. You should be able to type now. Sorry about that, Sahan. These scary SQL schemas really scare me. Google Docs are confusing. Mongo on top. Okay, so basically what we're doing here is we're basically checking to see if the conversation exists where. Actually, I think it should be, it's not or where, I think it should be and where. Because we want to check, we want to find it where the user ID is equal to creator ID and the, and it equals to recipient ID. $1 billion company couldn't hire someone to write simple documentation. I kind of somewhat agree because like Google Docs can sometimes be a little bit confusing. Yo, what's up, Triboy? Welcome to the stream. Nice to see everyone here today. We have a lot of quiet people here. Like we have like 60 viewers, but chat's so empty. Like where is everyone? I mean, I know you guys are chatting now, but like it was really quiet. But it's fine. Like you know, you guys don't really have to like chat. You know, you guys can also just watch through. Focusing on your code. I'm here. Yo, what's up, Saran? What would you prefer, Express or NestJS for industry level app? I mean, it really depends, right? Because even in the industry, like in the industry, people still like companies still use Express. It just depends on what the use case is for. Like for example, you can use Express for like a middleman between the front and the back end, right? Like if you want to have, because like for example, when you get to like scalability and when you get to like higher level architecture, you'll tend to have like lots of different layers that do different things. So for example, maybe you might have a Spring Boot layer that takes care of authentication. Maybe you might have an Express layer that takes care of taking in the data and processing it somehow and then sending it to the final destination, which is the API that will take care of like interacting with the database. So it really depends, right? So it's really hard to really answer that question. Because you don't want to necessarily just get into the habit of using only one framework for everything. It's kind of like, imagine you have a toolbox, right? And that toolbox has all different types of tools, but you only choose to use a screwdriver, a Phillips head screwdriver for every single situation. It just really depends on the situation that you're in. Because in some situations you might want to use, you know, Express. In some situations you want to use Nest. In some situations you may want to use only Nest. So it really just depends on, you know, the situation. But here's what I would say, right? I would say if I was designing a high level, if I were to design like some kind of architecture, and let me see if I have, I think I might have, I forgot what app I used in the past to design these things, but let's say if I were to have a high level, let me show you this. I'll just open up Paint. Let's say if I were to do this, right? So let's say this is the front end. Say this is React. And excuse your eyes for a second because I know this looks really bad. But let's say this is the React app, right? And let's say, for example, you have your APIs over here. You have your Nest API. Let's say you have microservices. Let's say you have microservice. So let's just say NestJS microservice A. You should use Excalibur. Okay, I'll look it up. So let's say you have NestJS A, you have NestJS B. Again, I know this is not the best, but hopefully it helps you understand what I am trying to tell you. And it should serve as a simple diagram for now. So let's say, for example, you have a NestJS architecture, a microservice architecture, right? And yeah, like let's say, for example, these microservices do a lot of stuff, so it makes sense for you to use NestJS because it handles so much for you. And let's say, you want to set up an authentication server. So before any client can access your microservice, they have to go through a middleman. And that middleman can be really anything, right? It could be Auth0, it could be a separate API server, it could be some SAML server, right? Maybe you're using a third party. But let's say, for example, you want to build it yourself. So what you could do is you can set up this middleman right over here. And let's say, for example, the authentication server is really not that complicated, right? It just checks for the username and password, checks for the credentials. Maybe it checks on JWT, who knows, right? And it's because it performs something simple, maybe you could use something like Express. You don't even need to use the same language. You could literally use Flask in Python if you want. You could use a Golang server. You don't even need to use the same language. Because it's really like, when it comes to microservices, right, the nice thing about it is that it doesn't have to be in the same language. You can have a microservice in Python that can communicate well with a microservice that is built in Node.js. So for example, in this situation, Express can be used as the middleman that can then communicate with NestJS, A, B, and C. And obviously React would communicate with Express first. So hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, pretty much this is what you would see if you were working for like a company. I mean, that's if they choose to do it this way. Because of course there's many different combinations of how one would want to set up their architecture. But this is one way. Hopefully that makes sense. But anyways, so yeah, basically what we want to do with the conversation is we want to check to see if there is a user ID equals to creator ID, or if it's equal to recipient ID. So this will check to see if it's equal to both, which is good. And recipient ID should be recipient ID. Yeah, so yeah, user ID, recipient ID. Honestly, I think I should just do this. It should really just be user ID equals user ID. Kind of tripping me up a little bit. Okay, there we go. And so if the conversation exists between these two users, it should work. So watch this. So right now in our database, we can see that there is a conversation that exists between, well, actually, let me delete this. Delete from, actually, no, I won't. So there should be one that exists between user 7 and 30, which is, you can see over here. You know what? Let me just drop this table. Let me redo this again. There we go. There we go, perfect. So let's go ahead and restart the app. And let's see. All right, there we go. So let's try creating a conversation. So right now, did it create it? I don't think we wrote the code for it yet. Did we create it? No, we didn't. Oh, wait. Okay, let me fix that real quick. Let me just do this. And let me just remove that. Let me just remove return conversation. There we go. Okay, so let's just do this real quick. So let's just post. So it got created. Good. Okay, and now let's look at the logs. You're gonna see that it's gonna be an empty array. But what we'll do now is we'll go ahead and just comment this out, and we'll do this. Add in machine learning, maybe some other time. So what we'll do now is we'll try to recreate the conversation again between those two users, and let's see what happens. Let's look at the logs. For some reason it gives us an empty array, which is weird because, hold on, wait, did it didn't create the table? Oh no, it did, but wait, that's weird. Wait, did it not create the record? Interesting. I'm not sure why it didn't create the user. Isn't Redux old? I mean, not really. Redux Toolkit is pretty much saved Redux, to be honest. Oh, wait, I didn't save the conversation. I'm silly. But wait, how did it create it early, though? Oh, yeah, because I saved it over here. I'm so silly. I'm so silly. Redux isn't old. Redux is, I mean, Redux has been around for a real long time, but like Redux Toolkit is a new feature. Well, not a new feature, but it's been around. But Redux Toolkit pretty much like saves a lot of Redux developers because it makes it a lot easier to write Redux code. Hi, you came up in my recommendation, but hello, Depless Pig. Welcome to the stream, Depless Pig. How are you? And welcome to the stream. Nice to see you here. Yeah, we get a lot of new people here all the time, so welcome to the stream, and I hope you enjoy the stream. We're basically building a chat app right now, but right now we're kind of like migrating some code, because we're trying to get group chat to work for our project, because we only have it working with private chat. So we're trying to make it so that multiple users can, more than 2 users can chat at the same time. So let me just go over here. I'm good. How's your coding going? Haha, I know nothing about it. Yeah, we're just building, you know, like I said, we're just working on implementing the group chat feature. So we have to do a lot of refactoring, and this is day number 8 of us working on this. And we're doing this, yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, so let me go ahead and create it, because I didn't save it. So let me just do that again. Completely forgot. Okay, there you go. There you go. So now that should be in the database. Perfect. And what I'll do is this. So let's go ahead and comment this out. Okay, and then what I'll do is I'll just try to create it again. And let's see what happened. Okay, so you can see that in the logs, you can see that we have the conversation. We have conversation number 38. But for some reason, it's only giving us back 1 user, which is really weird. It's not giving us back the other user. And the other user is user number, let me see, number 38. Well, I mean, user number 30. I mean, we are logged in as user number 30, I believe. Yeah, so it seems like it doesn't save the other user, or it doesn't query the other user, which is really weird. Let me see if I can fix that. Why would it not give us all of the users? That's really weird. Nocturnal, welcome back to the stream. How are you, Nocturnal? Welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing well. That's really weird how it's not giving you these two. Where user ID is equal to user ID, and then, let me see. It should give us all of it though, so I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why it's not giving us all of the users. Conversation.user. Where user ID is equal to user ID. So watch this. If I were to do this. Okay, you know, honestly, I think it's okay. I think it's fine that it doesn't return both users, although it should, but I don't know why it doesn't though, which is the really strange part. That is the thing that I find really strange, because it really should be returning both. But it only returns the user it only returns the recipient, which is really strange. Prasan, welcome to the stream. How are you, Prasan? It says, so over here it says empty set. Actually, you know what? It doesn't really make sense. Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, it doesn't really make any sense. Because if you think about it, right? If you think about it, if we do and, it doesn't really make sense, because how can 2 values be equal at the same time? That really doesn't make any sense. So I think what we would need to do is this. We would need to select where user's ID equals 7 or 30, and then it would give you back the conversation, and then you just check the length of the array. If the length of the array is equal to 2, then yeah. Yeah, I think we got this. Is it because you logged in as 1? No, that's not the issue. I think it's because we have and where, and it doesn't make any sense, right? Because how could 2 values be one value? How can 2 different, how do I say this? How can one thing equal 2 things at the same time? That doesn't make any sense. Yo, what's up? Hendrik, how are you? Welcome to the stream. Ibrahim, welcome back to the stream, man. How are you doing? Loves Milk Tea, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Select by conversation ID. So we actually can't select by conversation ID because we don't know what the conversation ID is ahead of time because we're creating it, right? You cannot select it by conversation ID because we don't know what it is. If we did know what it is, we would be able to, but we can't. But that's okay. Let me do this. I think it should be or where. Yeah, I think that should be fine. So if we translate this, you can see that gives us 2 records, right, for the user. If I were to do this, right, then that would give you back that, and then if I were to do this, so if I did this, that's an empty set. If I did that's an empty set. So yeah, the thing is, like, as long as the array is like of length 1, then you should be able to create the conversation. But the only problem is that the only issue that I have with this is that, well, what if the conversation clearly does exist, right? Actually, yeah, if the users don't have a conversation, we create a new one. Yeah, I actually, you know, let's do that. Hello, sir. I just started learning NestJS. Well, that's awesome. NestJS is amazing. Any advice on how to get better at backend engineering? Well, the only real way to get better at it is just by building projects. So, for example, just build a project from scratch. Make sure you implement authentication. Make sure you implement authorization. Make sure you implement all the backend features that are necessary in an application. The basic things that you must need to do is authentication, authorization. Knowing how to handle those things will help you a lot, because almost every single application nowadays requires cookies or uses cookies in some shape or form, right? Because, you know, especially in the modern world, data is so important, so everyone is like using cookies for their app, because that's how you persist your application as well, persist the users. Learn about databases, learn how to query databases, learn how to create records in databases from the backend API. That's where I would start. That's actually where I started in the beginning, you know. But that's what I would tell someone. Okay. So what we'll do is let's see. And we really should call get one, not get many. Conversation.type. Okay, let's try this. Can you give a short overview on how that styled components work? I mean, basically what you do is you create a styled component. You basically create a styled component. First of all, you import styled from styled components, and then you just reference styled, and then you can just basically reference any HTML element that you want to style. So in my case, I'm styling an input, and then in React, I can basically just render this like a normal component, and it will just include all of the CSS. Hopefully that makes sense. Vipex, welcome to the stream. Hey, I'm new to coding, only 15 years old, and I just started. I learned Lua, but what's the best way to learn JS? The best way to learn JS, well, first of all, let me ask you this. How did you learn Lua? right? So the way that you learn Lua, you're going to take those same principles, you're going to apply it to JavaScript. And then what you'll do is you'll learn JavaScript. You will build some simple applications with JavaScript, right? For example, JavaScript can do a lot of stuff, right? If you wanna build a web app, you can use JavaScript for that. If you want to build a server-side app, you can do that as well. But first of all, ask yourself, do you want to build something on the front end or the back end? Because JavaScript can handle both the front end and the back end. So do you want to build something in front end? If you want to build something in front end, learn client-side JavaScript, learn how to manipulate the DOM, learn all that kind of stuff. And yeah, and then from there you could just learn more and more stuff. You can learn React if you want, you can learn backend. And that's just really how one can learn JavaScript. Do you think HTML, CSS is essential for web? I mean, absolutely. I mean, technically, you're technically applying your HTML skills to your React skills when you're using JSX or TSX, and likewise with CSS as well. So it's definitely very important because you obviously want to present your content in a presentable way to your customers. You don't want to just like render stuff on the UI and call it a day, you know. Yo, what's up, This Planet? Welcome back to the stream. How are you? Okay, for some reason it keeps giving me 2 users, which doesn't really make any sense. Try this. Okay, so it seems like when I add that clause, it does not worry about that. But when if I remove that, it'll have both users. But interesting. I'm great. What time is it for you? It is currently 5 a.m. Looking to branch out, but I'm still doing it because I enjoy it. Anson, can you take a quick look at my project? Just finished it. You were short with project. Yeah, send it to me on Discord, and I'll take a look at it when I get a chance. But right now I'm trying to figure out this issue because I'm not really sure why. User ID equals. What is your preferred state management? I mean, I've only used Redux only. I haven't used any other state management library, so I can't really say. But I like Redux though. A lot of people don't, but I really like it a lot. Okay, yeah, so it seems like it has an issue with this where. Yeah, Redux toolkit. Let me turn on debugging real quick. Okay, so it does this left join where user ID or user ID. Okay, so let me see this real quick. So they selected from conversations, they left joined on this table. So let me do this, select from conversations, left join. And then let's do this. Welcome back, Lassie. Is this MongoDB? No, it's MySQL. Choaib, welcome back to the stream. How are you? So they did a left join again with the users table. So they left join two tables. So where user ID equals ID or user ID equals that. Okay, so that seems to be correct. Alright, I'm going to bed, but I'm gonna definitely watch these when I'm playing a game. Alright, see you later, Depless Pig. Nice seeing you here. Take it easy. Dauda, welcome to the stream. How are you? Anson, how many hours do you think a person should be studying coding a day? I mean, honestly, like, it's not about how many hours, it's about consistency. Like, if you study 12 hours a day, but then you give up the next week, then that's just pointless. If you're consistent every single day, you study 4 to 5 hours, you're gonna make it somewhere. You don't have to study for 16 hours a day. Just do it maybe like, 3 hours is even, honestly, I would say at least 2 hours in my opinion. But, just be consistent. Like, consistency is all that matters is all that matters. I noticed that you're using TypeScript. What made you choose over JS? Well, I just personally like TypeScript because it has a lot of great features that can help us build type safety applications. And I just don't really like JavaScript anymore because it just doesn't detect any linting. It just doesn't really detect type issues, which is a really big deal in programming. 5 hours, honestly, I think 5 hours was good. I was wondering, have you done freelancing before? I have done freelancing before. John Sir, welcome to the stream, John Sir. How are you doing? So I have done freelance before. I've done it when I was in college. Because what I would do is I would build websites for like college organizations, and it was just like really simple websites. I never really built anything crazy. It was just like a simple static landing page, and that was pretty much it. And then I did some freelancing in 2019, and after that I did some freelancing in 2020 and then 2021. Like I've done like several different projects before, but I've done a website for one of my friends. I've done a website for someone who reached out to me. This was actually last year. Last year I was actually streaming, and someone came to my stream and they were inquiring about building a Discord bot for them, and I did, and it was a pretty fun project. What is the hardest OOP language? I don't know, honestly. I don't really think you can really classify a language as being hard based on OOP, because all those languages are really the same, and the concepts don't really change across the language that you use. Like for example, OOP in Java would be relatively the same as OOP in C#. It's just the syntax might throw you off a little bit, but really it's really not that complicated, as long as you just understand OOP. That's how I see it. But I'm not sure why. This is really weird. It's my first time in your channel. Tell me a reason to subscribe for new people in your channel just like me. I mean, listen, like we do, like on my channel, I post a bunch of YouTube tutorials. You can go ahead and take a look at it. I've done tutorials on, lots of React tutorials, lots of NestJS tutorials, lots of Express tutorials, lots of Discord bot tutorials. And if you want to learn those technologies, definitely subscribe, because you'll be receiving videos like that. And whenever I'm not uploading videos, I will stream. And during the stream, what we'll do is we will build a project from the ground up. So, for example, last week we started this project where we built a chat application from absolute scratch. We weren't using any third-party like API service. We were building it with Socket.io, which was built in with NestJS, and we're just handling the sockets ourselves, right? We did the same thing with React as well. We're doing everything ourselves, and that's what we're going to be doing for our other live streams. I'm waiting for JD episode 4. JD episode 4 should come out probably tomorrow or the next day. I have Minecraft plugin being uploaded in the next hour or so. So yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much what the stream is all about. That's pretty much what the channel is all about. And yeah, if that interests you, then you're more than welcome to subscribe. If it doesn't, then that's also fine too. But hopefully that is convincing enough. Let's see. But I'm trying to figure out why I'm not able to select both of the users. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Who knows? Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Let me read the type ORM docs again. Let me see how they select. Left join. Okay, it's definitely the where condition. It's 100% the where condition. It's 100% this where condition, but it's 100% that where condition, I bet, that is screwing us over. Okay, so it seems like this works now. Okay, so this works, but the other one didn't want to work. So apparently me adding it to one line works, but why wouldn't it work with where though? You know what? Let me look at the logs. Let me see what changed. Let's see. So where user ID or user ID seems like it's the same. Left join user on user ID equals user conversation dot user ID. Where? That is really interesting. Really interesting. Okay. Now, what if I were to do this? What if I were to pass in someone else? So let's say if I passed in Ibrahim@linkedin.com. So what happens here is that this ends up creating... Oh, I see what the problem is. Okay. Yeah, I think we need to use and not or. Because you can see that it does not work. There you go. So you can see that when I query that, it doesn't work. But what if I were to do this? Okay, that doesn't work too. Okay, yeah, no, that doesn't work. And... what's up, Nathan? How are you? Welcome to the stream. Okay, so this works. This... Yeah, this is a little bit weird because you can see that it's still giving us the conversation. And the reason why is because it's able to get this user. Okay, and that's fine. Now, what if I change this to group? That should not work. So if I change it to group, it still gives it to us. That's really weird. What's my typing speed? My typing speed's like around like 100, I think. I think it's like 100, yeah. Okay, so this still does that. Why is it doing that? Conversation.type is equal to type. Type is set to group. That's really interesting. I think it's because of the left join. Yeah, it's because of the left join. It's because of the left join. Yeah, it's because of the left join. Damn, this is actually really complex. Do you touch type? What's touch type? 100 is good as mine. Should I do a typing speed right now? Should I do a typing test? Typing test. Do you guys want me to do a typing test? No, I won't do it. But yeah, mine is around like 100. The last time I did it, it was around like 100. No, I don't want to bore you guys with typing speeds. Maybe later. 100 is good, same as mine. It's like 9500, but accuracy is like 94. Huh, interesting. I don't know why this doesn't want to work, and it's likely due to the fact that it's likely due to the fact that we're using a left join, so of course it's just going to get everything. But I don't understand why it doesn't select the correct user though. Cause like, well, I guess okay. Let me see. First time here. Hello, thanks for sharing. I have a Node.js interview tomorrow. Nice. And nice to see you here, Bagus. Hopefully I pronounced your name right. But welcome to the stream and good luck with your Node interview tomorrow. I hope you ace it. Have you done any big projects that we may know of? Not that you guys would know of. Most of my projects are private projects because I've freelanced a lot. But I've never really. I mean, the only big project that I really worked on that was public is my Discord JS project generator. That was the only one. Texting one thing, but not being able to answer to the all Y while coding. To the all Y while coding. Yeah, that's one thing. Monkey type. What is touch type? This plant. What is touch type? Yeah, this feels a little bit weird. Honestly, I think what I'm gonna do, honestly, let me do this. You inject the entity manager and write a native SQL query. I think what I'm gonna do is this. I think what I'll do is I might just separate conversations between group conversations, honestly. I think that'll make things so much easier. So here's what I'll do. It uses all your fingers while typing without looking. Oh, you know, actually when I type, I actually only type with 2 fingers. I type with my left hand, the index finger. Okay, so I guess my keyboard, the way that I use my hands for my keyboard is, I have both of my thumbs on the spacebar, and I have my index finger on the left. I have my left index finger where I type with the on the left side, and then the right index finger takes care of all the keys on the right. Yeah, honestly, I mostly really use my index finger, honestly. Like, you know what, let me do a type racer, or type test right now. That's just how I've always just typed when I was, since I was a kid. I've actually never even realized that until later on. Let's do 1 minute. All the embarrassing moments. Let's see what my speed is. Will this be on GitHub? Yes, the project will be on GitHub. So my typing speed 102, 98% typos. And yeah, I think the entire time I used like my 2 fingers. Like, let me see, 300. Yeah, I only use like my index finger for like, even like during the numbers too. Like, I don't use like my middle finger. I don't know. Like, I use my index fingers. Damn, that was pretty fun. I haven't done that for like over like 2 years. Well, at 5 a.m., where do you get the energy? I don't know, man. Like, that's just me, man. Like, that's just how I am. That's just how I am. We got the energy for the stream today. But yeah, honestly, I think what I'll do is I'll probably just I think what I'll do instead of trying to combine conversations is what I'll do is I will do this. Let me just exit this. Okay, so let me copy this real quick. Let me just design this Figma wireframe just so that you all can see what it's going to look like on the front end. So I think what I'll do is I'll probably separate conversations, like private DMs. So what I'll do is this. Let me take this. Let me move that there. All right. All right. And I think what I'll do is I'll have like a section over here where it'll show you all of the group conversations. So for example, group conversations. I'll probably do something like this, honestly. I feel like doing this would be a lot easier to distinguish, but I'm not really sure why it's not querying I'm not really sure why it won't query all the users, because like, okay, the problem here is that we don't know what the ID of the user, we don't know what the ID of the conversation is. But the thing was with many to many relationships is that as long as you have the user's ID there, it'll be fine. But I think one thing that we could do also is we could just check to see the users and see the length, right? Because of course, if the conversation exists between two users, right? Let's say for example, if it existed between Ibrahim and myself, then the users would be there. There'll be both of them there. Now, if I change this to Anson, you'll see that both the users are there as well. So what we can do in the code is we can say, okay, if both of those users are present, then that means that the conversation exists between the two of them, right? But then also, like, users can also leave conversations and they can also rejoin them, right? But if you think about it like Facebook or Discord, there's no such thing as leaving a private conversation. Like, a user can never really leave a private conversation. They can close it out, they can block it, but they can never really leave a conversation. You know what I mean? So what I'm thinking is, I think what I'll do is I'll probably separate group between private, because if we have a private conversation, we can also add fields such as is closed for this user, is closed for that user. If you have group conversation, right, it'll be a lot more hard to manage, but leave a private conversation, like for example, when you, like, yeah, that's what I'm saying, like, you can't leave a private conversation, you cannot leave a DM, like if you're on Discord, right, like you cannot leave a DM between two users. You can close the conversation, but that doesn't do anything. You can block the user, that just prevents the user from, sending messages to you, but you can't, but it never has like the user has left the room. Like for example, if you're on a group chat, you could leave a group chat. Hey, by the way, I've also been working on a chat app this past week. It's a peer-to-peer chat app. Nice. Artemis to the moon. Is that what is Artemis? Is that or Artemis? Create an icon to show the current user has the last message sent to the other user. Hold on, I gotta stand up real quick. I gotta stretch. Real quick. Alright, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick. Alright, I'm back. Yeah, so I think what I'll do is I'll probably just leave the regular conversations alone, and then for group conversation, I will create a separate like little button over here, like a clickable button, and then when you click on group conversations, it'll just basically route you to the group conversations, and then you can see I guess when you click on group conversations, it'll basically just fetch the API for all your group conversations, and then it'll just render them on the sidebar. I think that's one thing that we could do. Front end might be a little bit annoying to handle things on the front end, because now if we fetch group conversations, we'll then need to add it to the store, and then we can also do something like this where when you click on group conversations, you can have like a back feature where you can go back to the home, something like that. But I don't know, I'm trying to think, because if I were to, I really don't want to separate it, but let me see. I just wish that we could have gotten this query in one go, but I think, for now I won't separate, but let me just experiment a little bit, because what we want to do is this. The only issue that I have is like right now it's not filtering out the conversation type, and again it's because we're left joining, and because we're left joining based on this condition, even if there's at least one user that matches this condition, it'll work. So that is the issue. Is this the MVP? What do you mean by MVP? So you can see that this doesn't give us anything. Yeah, and this type thing doesn't really do anything, so we can't really do that. So I think what we could do, let me see. We'll definitely have two endpoints though to create the group, or actually, I'm thinking real quick. Let me see. Yeah, now that I think about it, we really should separate between group and but that would make things more complicated on the front end, which is fine. I'm asking because the complexity seems to be compounding. Yeah, I don't know. Something like this. I want to do something like this. Group chats. Obviously, I'll fix this later, but like you get the idea. We can click on group chats. It will let me see. So I guess if I click on group chats, what should it do? Should it replace the entire sidebar, or do you know how to auto-generate GA stocks from prop types in VS Code? I've never done it before because I actually never really used prop types except for like maybe a few React projects when I was at work, but like in my old job. But that was because we were not using TypeScript. Because if you use TypeScript, you don't really even need to worry about prop types. But I'm not sure. I've never done it before. Maybe you can try searching something on Google. Have you tried that? Prakruthi, welcome to the stream. Add a tab bar switchable between conversation and groups. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. This project is awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I might have to think a little bit about this, because I'm thinking, I was like, where user ID is equal to user ID or this. So we're able to get the conversation from a one-to-one, from a many-to-many relationship. But it just becomes really complicated. Yeah, I think honestly I might just separate. Yeah, I think I'll separate conversation and group conversation. So what I'll end up doing is I'll probably create like a new entity called group conversation, and it'll have a one-to-many relationship between messages. It'll have all the same things as well, and it'll have the many-to-many relationship between group and users. And because with group conversations, it's a lot easier to handle because you can create as many group conversations as you want with any user that you want, and you never have to worry if they exist or not. Because it okay, there we go. Should be better now. Where was I last? What did I last say? What was the last thing that I said? What was the last thing that I said? Well, anyways, what I was gonna say was basically this. I think what I'll do is I'll separate conversation, and I'll create a new entity called group conversation. And the reason why is because with conversation, if it's a private conversation, you have to really worry about if the conversation exists. And I feel like doing it with many-to-many is really weird. So what I'll do is I'll create a group conversation entity. And this will actually make it so much easier to handle. And on the front end, what we'll do is instead of combining all of the conversations together, we'll distinguish it between group chats. So you can click on group chat and then you can go ahead and select which one you want. So I think we'll do it. Honestly, I think that's fine, honestly. It really isn't that, it really isn't going to be that bad. So we'll do group conversation. And then what I'll do is, I think what I'll do later is I'll probably create like a main class called conversation, and then I can create like a private conversation class, and both of those conversation classes can extend the main class. But let's do this. So let's do primary generated column. And so with the group conversation, it really won't matter who, we can add a creator, but it really won't matter because we're going to have a many-to-many relationship anyways. So it's going to be many-to-many between the group conversation and the user. So to user. Okay, we'll create the property on the other conversation later, or on the user entity. So we have the users, and then of course we'll need messages. So let's just import that. And I think I might need to go to message and do a many-to-one. And the thing with the group is that it might be null, so we can always do this. And we can always set nullable to true, so that way we don't have to worry about that. Because the message, obviously, for example, if the message belongs to a private conversation, it will never belong to a group conversation. That's just not how it's going to work. So we'll add the other fields, create it at. Let's import that. At many-to-one. Well, that's a decorator. Where's that class from? Shriprasana. Shriprasana, how are you? Did I pronounce your name correct? Hopefully I did. Shriprasana, how are you doing? Okay, so let's go to user, and then let's just go here, and then we're gonna do Many to many. Group conversation. Group.users. Honestly, I'll call it groups. Sorry, Dicker, yeah. Shri Prasanna. That's a nice name. Alright, let's go ahead and import group. Let's do that, and let's do this. Okay. Okay, there we go, no errors. Okay, so we'll create another endpoint to create the group conversation. And so what I'll do is, it'll probably be under the same, should I do it in the same one, or should I do a different one? How to become pro in React like you. I mean, I don't really consider myself a pro, but I would say that, I would say I'm somewhat decent, you know, I'd say I'm pretty decent. But I would say that, you know, just keep practicing, you know, like 2 years ago when I first started learning React, I was obviously crap at it. I came from an Angular background, and so learning React was obviously something new for me. And I was really bad at it, you know, but over time, the reason why I got a lot better was because I just kept on building projects. I kept on, like, you know, figuring things out. I kept on, like, you know, experimenting. I kept on asking questions, and then from there, you know, like, I just got better, and you know, yeah, like, it just takes time, and you know, as long as you just do that, you'll get good. Yo, what's up, Lulu? How are you? Welcome back to the stream. I'm doing good. How about you? No. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with my mic. I might get a new mic. I mean, I don't know if it's my mic or if it's Streamlabs. I don't know if it's my mic or if it's Streamlabs. I'm not sure. Yeah, sorry about my mic. Alright, so I'm trying to think if I want to use the same endpoint. So right now our API is conversations. Do I want to use the same endpoint? Because the only difference it would be conversations. So if we were to set up groups, it would be /conversations, or sorry, /API /conversations /groups. /groups, and then we could follow the same pattern, like ID messages, like that. But I hope that doesn't really. Yeah, I think that should be fine, honestly. I think it should be fine. As long as it just doesn't break the other API endpoints, we should be fine. But we really should be writing unit tests, though. I'll probably write the unit tests maybe next week, because we still have a lot of stuff to do. As the schema is separate, I think it's better. You think so? Huh. Okay. Yeah, I think we should. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, I think we should do that. Let's do that. You know what? I'm not going to generate it. I'm just going to create it myself. Screw it. Hello, Anson. How are you? You're doing great work. Thank you. Sorry, my voice is a little bit scratchy right now. Hey, Jasham, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? It's nice to see you here. Yo, what's up, Wasif? How are you? Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you here. And I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. And I hope you're doing well as I hope you're doing good as well. Yeah, so I think I'll call it group instead of group conversation. Why won't you make your own app? What do you mean? What do you mean by my own app? Can you run the UI? Sure. I mean, the UI is already running. Yeah, I mean, listen, guys. Like, if you're interested in like the app, you guys can all clone the app on GitHub. And you can play around with it. Like, the app is open source. I mean, develop an app with a new idea. Just wanted to know on what basis we decide between Nest, Express, and Feather. I think Feather.js is meant for live, real-time apps, I think. But between Nest and Express, it's really just personal preference. Like, you know, you don't have to choose Nest, but some people like the opinionated architecture. It's just really all about what you're willing to manage, right? Like, for example, with Express, you pretty much start off with nothing, and you can do everything yourself. With NestJS does things for you, but it also adds a lot of overlay for you, so you don't have to worry about certain things. You have 154 project get it. React is cross-platform. What does it look like on iOS? Well, React itself works on the web, but React Native works on iOS and Android. And GitHub servers are being a little bit weird right now. But yeah, like, guys, go on my GitHub. The links are in the description, by the way. Go on GitHub. Go to the repository. It's on my profile, right? And make sure you fork the repository. Make sure you start it, and make sure you clone it. And then yeah, just play around with the code, run it locally, see if you like it. The only thing that you'll need to configure is the database. That's pretty much it. But yeah, you know, if you want to play around with it, you're more than welcome to downloading the code on your own. Anyways, so let's continue. So let me just create this group. Yo, what's up, my bed? How are you? Can we build an audio streaming app in React? Of course, you can use WebRTC for that. Okay, there we go. All right, so now what I'll do is I'll create my controller. So let's do and we'll create a folder for tests for now. We won't have any right now, but we'll do that. We'll set that up later. Let's do I'll just call this group. Yo, what's going on? How are you? How are you doing? I don't know what your name is. I don't know how to read your name, but the person with the Chinese characters, welcome to the stream. If you tell me what your name is, I'll remember it. Marcelo Lopez, have you ever tried Angular? I actually used to use Angular a lot. I was always an Angular person. But I just have not really used it for a while. What's the point of using tests inside the front and back end? The whole purpose is to unit test your code, so that way you know that it works automatically. And anything that you change in your application, you can easily, you know, reload the changes. Give me a second. Give me a second. Yeah, so basically the whole purpose of unit testing is ensuring that the code that you wrote is doing what it's supposed to do, and making sure that any other new changes that you make to your application does not break existing features. So for example, if I'm changing a lot of stuff and all of my tests are failing, that's clearly an issue with my new features. Or it could also be an issue with the old features as well, but that means we have to refactor. So it's a good way to, and also unit testing also helps detect bugs too, which is also good. Because if something fails, you get instant feedback and you can easily fix it. So I think for the endpoint, I'll probably do /groups/conversations. I really don't want to do groups conversation. That doesn't really make sense. Should I, honestly, you know what? I don't even think I'll call it a group conversation. I'll just call it a group, honestly. I feel like calling it a group conversation will start confusing things. Let's just call it a group. Let's just call it a group. We will just call it a group from now on. Are you sure the project is on your GitHub? Yes, it is. So here's what we're going to do. GitHub is a little bit laggy right now for some reason, but it's on my GitHub. You can see it's over here. All you have to do is just go to my profile, and then you go over here, and then, wait. Yeah, so you just go to my profile right over here. You can see chat platform React, chat platform NestJS. So make sure you start the repository, make sure you fork it. So that way when you fork it, you'll basically get, you can clone your own fork, and then any changes that I make on my branch, you can easily just pull it from my fork. But yeah, I'd really appreciate if you guys checked out the repository and played around with it. Please prefer a better platform. I personally use DigitalOcean. When you started into web dev, back in 2018 was when I started. Okay, so let's go ahead and set up our module so that it recognizes group controller. Okay, so in the logs it should say groups. Yep, there we go. Group controller got mapped. And like before, you were also in dev. So I started coding when I was in college, and I learned coding when I was in college because I did a computer science degree. 2018 was when I started learning web dev. That was when I first built my Discord bot, and I started building a bunch of other stuff. So I've been coding for about 6 years, but I started web dev in 2018, so it's been like 4 years so far. What's your first programming language? My first programming language was Java, and yeah, I learned Java when I was in college. That was the language that we were required to learn. Okay, there we go. So now we have our service set up. So all we have to do is just provide it. So let's do provide, and we'll use tokens. So services dot groups, use class group service, and now we should be able to inject this into our controller. Private read only. There we go, and we should be good to go. So let me just write a commit message for this. And, or actually, I should have reverted that, but it's fine. What I'm gonna do is this. But you see, basically, the reason why you want to write unit tests is because right now I just made a lot of changes, but we don't even know if the application still will work the same. It should, though. Like, it should still, there shouldn't be any issues. In 1 year since I've started dev, I've learned React and I'm planning to learn Next. Hopefully in like 3 years I can also do this app. I mean, you will regardless one day. As long as you keep learning, as long as you keep struggling, as long as you keep striving. And I say struggle because everyone needs to struggle. As long as you keep doing that, you're going to be fine. I promise you that. So everything still works great. Perfect. Alright, so there we go. And let me just go into my type arm. I'm gonna change this to groups instead of groups. So let's go over here. Let's do this, this, and this. Let's see. Where else am I referencing this? I don't think I'm referencing anywhere else, so why is it complaining? Let's use Tailwind CSS for next project. I was using it since 2 months. The process is taking this time. Honestly, I don't even know if I will ever use Tailwind. The reason why is because I don't know. I mean, I'll give it a shot, but like I don't really. Let me see. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Would you recommend Python as the first language to learn? Python's a great language to learn. Python's not a bad language. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll set up controller and we'll do a post request. So this will basically be a request to /groups, and it'll just basically mimic the conversation. So what we'll do is this. My only concern is how would we, let me see, constants. I guess we can do group messages equals, yeah, I think later what we could do is we could do group messages and then we could do the same structure. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so let's do the same thing. So post async create group. And then for the DTO, for the request body, we're going to need all the users that they want to add. So create group payload. So let's create a DTO. I like to use SCSS, even though I've worked with Tailwind. I'm planning to do a project in Tailwind, but still Sass seems great for me. I hate Tailwind because the way typing CSS with it. Yeah. What OS would you prefer for us for better programming? I don't really think it matters. Like, I mean, I personally, for me, I would recommend Mac if you could afford it, or Linux. But I'm a Windows guy, so I usually just use Windows. Like, I don't really, it doesn't. I honestly don't really think it matters. I mean, I would say I would say Mac and Linux are great because a lot of the features are supported. Like, you could just use a lot of Unix-like features, which is great. And Windows is like, it just depends, you know. Like, of course, you know, no, not Linux. Afford a Mac is what I meant. Yo, what's up, Jujumba? How are you? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, привет. Welcome. I don't know what that other word means, but welcome. Let's see. So users. So the DTO. So basically, users are gonna add like an array. It's gonna be an array basically. Yeah, this will be an array. Hey friend. Oh, so that's what it means. Woozy, are you Russian? Linux let you focus on more development rather than installing anything in terminal. What keyboard are you using? I am using the Discord keyboard. Also, I have a new command. It's called specs. Russian is my second language and English is my third. Nice. Yeah, so I think for Greek group DTO, this will need to be an array of. This will need to be an array. It'll be an array of email addresses, so string array. And I think that's really it, honestly. Yeah, I think that's really it. And maybe like a name too, but that can be optional. It sounds awesome. Thank you. Did you npm init your package.json file? Yes. Oh, wait, you're talking to the other person. Okay, maybe we'll do a title of the group conversation too. What else? I think that should be fine. Yeah, that should be fine. I'm a ninth grade student from India. I'm inspired from your previous projects. Great. Wow, that's amazing. And that's good that you're learning development at such a young age. Do you know micro ORM and what is the difference between micro? I know what it is, but I've never used it. Oh, whoops! I've never used it before. Add the leader of the group. I could. Oh yeah, true. So only the leader of the group can kick people out and stuff. Sure, we could do that. Create group DTO. Actually, no, we don't need to do that here because the owner of the group will be the person that created it, which it will be the user, the authenticated user. You had a video scheduled. I did. It should have been uploaded right now, right? Yeah, it's the Minecraft plugin video. Artyom, is that how you pronounce it? Artyom? Artyom. Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you here. It was supposed to be uploaded the 29th, so it should have been uploaded now. Okay, great. Okay, there we go. It's been uploaded. In 2020, do you recommend Laravel or Node? I would recommend Node, but Laravel is also good too. But you can't go wrong with either one of them. But Node, I would say Node. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll need to go ahead and call this .group service, and we'll obviously pass in the group payload. But let me just go ahead and validate this endpoint real quick, just to make sure that it is going to expect the correct stuff. So let's just create a new collection. No worries. And so it'll be /API/groups. Each value in users must be a string. Perfect. So let's do this. Users. Okay, I think we should set a length. Is there a way to set a length? I'll try this. I'll probably do. So each group must have at least two. It must have at least two users. There we go. Users must contain at least two elements. If I pass in a number, there we go. Perfect. So each. Oh wait, I think I want to do this is string. What if I did is email? Damn. I want to validate each. I want to validate each element inside and make sure that it's email. I wonder if that's possible. Might be a little bit. Is string. Damn. What's your Discord tag? I'll DM you after the stream for something. Anson0003. You can just go on my Discord server, and then you can just go and look for the owner, and then you can just click on my name from there. And also make sure you guys join my Discord server. The link is in the description. So I think honestly this should be fun. I think I'll figure out offline how I can possibly validate the email. It should be possible, but I don't know if we can combine decorators though. Is what I'm wondering. Because this obviously wouldn't work. Yeah. Custom validator. Yeah, maybe we might need to create a custom validator. I'll figure that one out offline. It's fine. As long as we just have the minimum, then we're good. And we are good. All right. So yeah, basically the way on the back end would look, the front end would basically send the email. So that's email number 1. And let's see. Actually, I think it really should just be 1 array min size 1. Yeah, honestly, I think we just do array not empty. because the group should be at least 2 or more users. So even if you specify 1 user in the array, they just cannot provide the same user. They cannot provide their own email, so we'll have to validate that later. But as long as they provide 1 user, then it'll just create a group between the 2 users. So I think this is fine. Perfect. Okay, and if it's empty, there we go. All right, perfect. Let me just save this real quick as create group. Okay. Cool. So that works. That works. All right. So let me see. I think this should be fine. I think this should be fine. Trying to think what we know how to do next. I think this is honestly fine, actually. Trying to think. Any suggestions on what I could add? What do you mean? Do you mean like what you can add to this project, or? Let me see. All right, so let's go over here. Types. Check your previous message. I don't see your message. Let me check. Did it get deleted? Yeah, I don't see your message. Did it get deleted? I'm scrolling. Yeah, I don't know what see your message here. Is your keyboard is 60%? I think it's 10 keyless. So it has arrow keys, it has the insert, delete, end key. Well, I don't see your message, so if you don't mind sending it again, I can answer it. So title and then users. Okay, so now we just have to take this, pass it in there, and of course we also need the creator. So that'll just be the user. There we go. All right, so I'm just gonna call this payload. Just save some lines. Okay, there we go. All right, so this will call create group, and then we'll have to get the repository. So that way we can actually create the record in the database. Okay, and for now, what we'll do is we'll just do this dot. Oh wait. Here it is. Yeah, I don't see your message. So what we'll do is this dot group repository dot find creates params. Let's see. Oh wait, we can't just do that. Whoops. Okay, so yeah, we need to basically get all the users. So I think what I'll do is I'll inject the user service in here. And then I think in here we'll need to import user module. Yeah, and so basically what we need to do is we need to query the service. So I guess we'll need to actually do multiple queries, I think. So I guess we'll need to loop a query, and then let me see. Trying to think. Yeah, I think so. We'll have to loop through the array, which is fine. That's fine. We'll loop the array. We'll loop through the array, or we'll actually maybe what we'll do is, yeah, I think we'll loop through the array. We'll call promise.all resolve all the users, and that should be enough to get all the users from the database. And we'll just add the ones that are found, and the ones that are not found, we'll just not do anything. YouTube apparently censored my message because though CLI stood for lady bits. What? Yeah, so I think what we'll do is we'll basically have to get the params.users property, loop through it, call the database, check to see if the user exists. And if it does, then we'll add it to the group. If it doesn't, then we won't do anything. And yeah, I think that should be fine. That should be fine. And oh wait, I forgot to fix one thing. Hold on. So yeah, this should be group.messages, and this should be message.group. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think let's just see if we could do this. So params. So maybe what I could do is I could do const users promise. So what we could do is for each user, so we know that it's a string. We could basically just do we could basically call this and then find the user by email. So maybe we could do something like that. Yo, what's up, cronies? How are you? How are you doing? And so this will find the user for us. Okay. Don't really think we need relations, so we'll be fine. And so this will return a promise of the users. And then we'll just need to manually resolve it, so. So let's go ahead and call this API. So we'll do post. Let's do Ibrahim@anson.com, edon@gmail.com. What's going on? If group repository is provider, yeah, let's fix that real quick. Working on a messenger. I added sending pictures and mailing for users and online status checks. What can I add next? Adding sending pictures, mailing for. I am not sure, honestly. Adding sending pictures. So you've already done pictures. You've already added mailing. Yeah, deleting messages. Edit. You could do editing messages, deleting messages. You do stuff like that. So users module, type ORM. Oh, Woozy, you gave me a good idea. Let me write that down. Please zoom the editor window. Are you guys having trouble seeing the editor, or do I need to zoom in? Asana is free, but they have a free tier. They also have paid versions as well. Okay, watch this. So we promise. Okay, so let's go ahead and do promise.all. Did you think what you're going to use to save images like a CDN? Yes, I'm going to be using DigitalOcean Spaces. Okay, so now you can see that the array is there. What if I add a user that doesn't exist? It'll be null. Yep, so all we got to do is call promise.all. Or actually, let me see what both users promise looks like. It should also be, it should just say pending as well. Oh, you can see promise undefined. Oh. Okay, well, we have to resolve all the promises, and then what we'll do is this. We'll do Is there a way to remove? I guess we could filter, but actually, no, I'll filter instead. I don't think this will do anything, but let me just see. Because basically, like, I just want to remove all the undefined values from the array. Oh, this actually works. Okay. So basically, if it's truthy, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm glad that this works. Okay, perfect. Awesome. And then all we gotta do is just do users dot push params dot user or params dot creator. And that'll give you the creator of the, that'll give you the creator. So watch this. Why is it undefined? Are we not logged in? Oh wait, we're not sending cookies. Yeah, that's right. Gotta send cookies. 1 second. Or maybe we just got logged out. Oh wait, I think we got logged out. There we go. So now you can see that everyone is in the group now. Okay, and obviously I would have to add this as a creator. Okay, and then all we gotta do is just query the database. So this. So what I'll do is yeah, I'll do this. This dot create group. Oh wait, this dot group repository dot create. And then what we'll do is, so the group needs this. So it needs the users, so users, creator. Oh, I need to add, yeah, I'll add a creator property. So this will be a one-to-one, and then we'll also join column. Okay, so now it should be there. And I think that's really all we need. Title. Does the group have a title? Yeah, I think I might need to add that as well. Yeah, no, I don't like this. There we go, so we'll create the user. Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right. What's up, Ayumi? How are you? Welcome to the stream. Alright, so let's create the group. We should have the group. Can I read properties of undefined reading owner columns? Huh. Seems like it's having an issue with saving. I might know what the issue is. Yeah, I think I know what the problem is. Let me do this. Oh, I forgot to do join table. Let me join table. Maybe that might be the issue. Okay, so no errors thrown. Yo, what's up, Ayumi? Thank you, I appreciate it. What's going on? Wait, why is my SQL not working? What? And thank you, I appreciate you for liking my videos. Wait, why is it giving me... Oh, is it because does MySQL have like a table called groups? No, I don't think so. Could also add group title as usernames, comma, default title. Let me see something real quick. You have an error. Is it? Am I not allowed to have like a? Am I not allowed to have a table called groups or something? Because I can select from other tables. Yeah, it might be groups. Honestly, that's actually really dumb. Yeah, I guess the only thing we have to do is just name it group conversations. That's so dumb. What is going on? I don't know what's going on, but whatever. That's actually really stupid. That's actually really dumb. Okay, whatever. Oh, nice. Nice. How do you spell your name? Hrishikesh. Thank you. There you go. That works. Okay. Thankfully that works. Because I really didn't want to name it group conversations. Okay. Hrishikesh saved the day. He saved the day. Or they saved the day. There we go. Okay. So you can see that we have created at, update at, and then title null. And now if I query the group conversations, there we go. Okay, so now you can see that we have this group ID 1 and then user ID. Perfect. So this is all the participants that are in there. Okay. And so what we want to do is yeah, I think that's pretty much it for creating the group. So now all we have to do is just handle the front end to show the group conversation. And that shouldn't really be hard because all we need to do is when the user that's logged in, we'll just need to query from this database table, and then we'll need to just query by their user ID. So for example, where users ID equals 7, and that'll give you all the groups that they're in. And that should pretty much that shouldn't be too difficult. Shouldn't be too difficult. But yeah, wow, we got 68 viewers right now. Holy crap. Got a lot of people, but chat is like slow. If you're new here, say hi. Feel free to say hi. Yeah, 58. It keeps dropping. Like it goes from 68 to 58, which is really weird. 58, 60. But if you're new here, you know, feel free to say hi. Kushal, welcome. What's up, Ayumi? I see you've already joined the Discord already, which is good. The Discord is a great place to chat with everyone. So that's good. But yeah, welcome everyone. I've watched your streams last year. Nice. Eldera, welcome to the stream. How are you? Oh, you did? Your name actually looks really familiar, actually. But I do know that you've been here the past couple days. Yeah, a lot of people that I seen from last year, I recognize their names. Woozy, unless you changed it, but it sounds really familiar, or maybe I'm confusing you with someone else. But the name does look familiar, though. I'm not gonna lie. Last year, yeah. I'm fine. You give me motivation working from home. Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. I've checked the repo. It's really overwhelming. Well, it's fine. I mean, like, don't stress so much about it. It's you can just use it as a reference, and of course, you always have these live streams because you can watch all of the live streams. You can watch all of the live streams from the past couple days, and you can always do that and use that as a reference as well. But yeah, honestly, we made a lot of progress, so we were able to create the group. So I think what we'll need to do tomorrow is we'll need to make it so that the users can see all the groups. So we'll need to create API to fetch all the groups. We'll need to make it so that when the user is connected to the group WebSocket, we'll need to do that as well. But though that'll actually be a little bit more difficult because now, we actually need to change the way that we are handling rooms, because the way that we are handling rooms right now on the front end is we're handling it based on the conversation ID, or the backend, I should say. Is we're using the conversation ID. Well, we're no longer using conversation ID. We're no longer. Yeah, that's actually a little bit annoying. But I think we'll have to figure out tomorrow. Anyways, I gotta go because it's actually pretty late, and I gotta get ready for work. So, yeah, thank you all for watching the stream. I really appreciate it. We had a really successful stream today. Lots of people chatting with us. Lots of new people. Tomorrow I'm gonna try to stream early. I actually woke up late today. I was supposed to stream today at 2, and I woke up at 3:30. So that's why I'm streaming like a little bit extra. I'm streaming like 30 minutes later today because I woke up late today. But I'll try to get up. I'll try to get up earlier tomorrow at like 2, and then I'll stream. But that's usually the time that I work anyway. That I get up anyway. So don't worry. Anyways, yeah. For those of you who are brand new, make sure you join the Discord server. It's an active server with lots of people in there. Make sure you join the server, chat with all of us. I'd love to have you all there. And yeah, thanks so much for watching the stream, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.